I don't know how many people, it's Friday night. I don't know how many people will be on tonight. Everybody's out eating and doing their thing, but we got some questions we'll talk about. Since our last live, we got in some Bowtechs. We're a Bowtech dealer now. We're going to play with them a little bit and see what we think. But the rep came by with them. We kind of liked them, so they got a little short 28 incher. That's probably my favorite one.
Yeah, it
and then
shot real good.
CP 350, a faster bow. Got to get some videos up on them sooner than later.
There we are.
But we'll get them done. They got an 80-pound bow. They got a long draw bow. All kind of stuff. What's up, Devin? But yeah, so I don't know how many people come on because it's Friday night, but we got some questions we'll run through. What's going on?
I got Ben getting in. It says, I let my string untwist before installing. Is there a number of twists I should put back in it?
Not exactly. I mean, like, it's hard to, he didn't say what bow or nothing, right?
No.
Basically, you know, like when we measure them before we ship them or put them on, we do the ATA standard, which is 100 pounds with a 1/4 inch pin through the loop. But I mean, you could basically hook it around a little, you know, a peg or a pegboard or something. Maybe get it to about a 1/16 or an 1/8 short with no tension on it, and it would be roughly the same.
Yeah.
But there, I guess message us, and if we knew exactly what bow, we could give you an idea. If we knew what length it was of what how many to put in it, but just holla at us.
Yep.
Holla.
James got in and says, how do y'all like the new Bowtechs?
Pretty good. We ain't messed with them a whole lot, but you know, I guess the cool thing about the Bowtech is you got the module flips. You can make it shoot fast, or you can make it pull smoother. And we basically all agree we like the smoothness better than the speed.
Yeah.
But you got that option without buying another bow. They look cool. You know, very little to no vibration. That little 28-inch booger, I'm looking forward to testing it some more. Even the SR 350, you know, for a sort of a speed bow, it didn't shoot bad at all.
No, it didn't.
But we hopefully, if we can get a spare minute in the next couple of days, we'll at least get a video or two out on them.
Let's see. Tim gets in and says, all he says is speed versus arrow weight.
I think we both somewhere in the middle. You know, I don't want to shoot a 800 grain arrow, but I also don't have to shoot a 350 grain arrow and have 300 and whatever feet per second. You know, I'm happy. I really never had to have a certain speed, you know what I mean? And me and TJ both usually end up most of the time in the 400s or maybe low 500s arrow weight for hunting arrows, you know, so kind of in the middle. I don't have to have either. We've played with both, you know, back in the day, speed was the thing, and now the weight's the thing, but I'm not sold on either one. But we can do either one.
Yeah.
People come in all the time and either want their bow to go as fast as possible, or they want to, you know, ranch ferry it out and shoot all this weight. We can do it all.
Yeah, I think mine winds up my Spartans that I've been shooting wind up right at 420 grains. So, I mean, that's a good middle of the road. I like it. It's not super duper light, but also it's not super duper heavy. It's just kind of in the middle.
Well, I seen a couple questions pop up, but they're going away before I can read them. So I'm gonna let TJ go through our normal questions, and then he'll get on the feed because I didn't bring another gadget to look them up with.
Let's see. Alan gets in and says, what is the most common peep size? 3/16 and a quarter is probably your most two popular peep sizes out there.
Yeah, I mean, you got some target people going to shoot a little smaller. Some people might shoot a 5/16 big old whopper, but I think 3/16 is what I grab the most.
But you get, I mean, I know a lot of people now with some of the sight housings as big as they're getting on some of them. You kind of seeing people gravitate to a quarter just to be able to get that perfect alignment. Barry gets in and says, favorite brand of kisser buttons?
I used to only use the Saunders Kiss X kisser button because it's a real soft rubber, but I don't mind the Pine Ridge ones either. They're a soft rubber, but I'm sort of particular. Most of the time, I don't like using those metal clamps on them. I just feel like it adds weight, and if the metal clamp flies off, which occasionally happens. It can pop you upside the head. So I like to use either one of those kisser buttons with a pretty big serving material, and I'll basically just wrap it, and tie it off, and it'll hold it. You won't lose as much feet per second. You can use matching serving, so you don't have a big bulky black clamp on top and bottom. But I mean,
there's a ton
several
out there.
There's some that I don't like the hard ones. I think it might be True Glow or some cheaper company that makes them, and they're kind of junk. But I like a good soft plastic.
Dave gets in and says, I shoot a 3-pin Trophy Ridge sight. Do I need a clarifier or a verifier?
You need a verifier unless you got a lens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the verifier is you use with just any kind of standard sight. Clarifier you want to use with a lens.
And if you're local, or even if you're not local, what's up, Brad? We got all of them in. For 2 or 3 years, people's been talking a good bit about them. So I literally dropped like $1,200, and we got every of the newest specialty peeps. We got all the verifiers and clarifiers and sizes and all that. So we're squared away. We even got the little testers, so you can come in with your bow and hold up the different ones and see which one works. So if you're local and want to come try it out, do it.
Zach gets in and says Hamski versus QAD.
I think it's according to the application.
That and personal preference.
We see most hunters still going with a QAD because you can lock it up and contain that arrow. We see most target people or people that are maybe more concerned with the tuning aspects of a bow going with a Hamski. I prefer the Hamski. After a bunch of testing, we've had basically zero trouble with the Hamski. I mean, we have very little trouble with the QAD, but every now and then we have some weird stuff happen. Like sometimes the internal stuff gets kind of gunky and it don't want to drop right. And if a cord stretches on or changes on a QAD, it can do a whole lot different than if it does on the Hamski. You know, the Hamski you can just tug it back down tight, pretty simple. On the QAD, you got to mess with it going through the football or through the cable. I don't use the football personally. Have we tried the Epsilon? We've seen it, but we hadn't been able to get our hands on any for the shop yet. I don't remember what they said. It wasn't like 6 months shipping, but I think they told us a couple months. So hopefully we'll get some in our hands. But from what I could tell, Brad, is the Epsilon seemed geared towards the new Matthews. Just the way they machined it and fit it. I got 2 Trinities I'm running on my stuff. I don't think I'm going to switch to the Epsilon. If I was buying a brand new one, I'd consider it. But just talking to them at the show, I don't know about the vibe I got was it was sort of made to fit real. For the Matthews, they got the little mount that just barely fits on the side, and it was real. I don't want to say compact because the Hamskis are a little bit bigger, but it just fit that Matthews perfect, and I feel like that's kind of what it was geared toward.
I know they were trying to get a lot of the bow that core technology that they come out with, they don't even have that patent.
It's going to be cool if it works out.
So they told us that they wanted all the rest makers and all the bow companies to be able to use that. And I know they were talking about having these bow companies drill like 2 holes in the back of the riser right where the rest would attach, kind of like the integrate system. But you could actually mount that Epsilon with 2 bolts in the back of the riser. But I don't know how many bow companies so far have.
They acted like several were interested. Basically, they said the way Matthews has done that integrate thing, they patented it, and like it's a QAD deal. That's going to be it. But all they're literally wanting to do is instead of every rest having that big arm coming up the side of the bow and mounting on the side, they're just wanting every bow company to drill these 2 little bitty holes in the back, and it'd be so much less weight and easier. And at first I was kind of like, but after talking to them in person, it actually sounds like a good deal. And they said, instead of being like the Matthews QAD crap, where you got to use only their stuff and it's patented and you got to pay all these royalties, they said, we came up with this, but we don't want any money off of it. We'd like to see the whole industry in the next 3 to 5 years go to this. And that kind of made sense. I seen somebody mention the React Digital There's one sitting right here somewhere.
I think it's over there in the chair.
We got some of the 3-pin models in this week actually. But yeah, that's another video we got to get made. Botex and React Digitals, I know, I'm slacking.
Benjamin gets in, how can I bump my bow up a few pounds? It's maxed at 70 and a half.
Basically just twist the cables, but we need a little more information, like
what bow.
You can do that, but there's adverse effects potentially to it according to what bow it is. And I mean, you can't just take like a 70-pound bow and think you're going to max it to 80 by twisting the cables. You're going to break a limb. So you might get a pound or 2 or 3 or whatever, but I wouldn't get wild. But just in general, you can twist the bus cable or cables and get a little bit more poundage.
Last one I got from our list is Evan says, how hard is it to change the draw length on my Matthews switchback?
You got to change the cam, so you'll either have to find, I can't see the camera here at the door.
14 maybe. Let's see.
You'll either have to find a cam like on eBay or something, which you can find on these older bows now, or just go to a Matthews dealer and you just got to, it don't have a module or anything, you got to swap the whole cam out. So I have seen some cams floating around on the internet though for $30, whatever. New, I think they're about $100, but you can probably find a used one on eBay.
And just make sure you get a right hand cam or a left hand cam, depending on if you're right or left handed. Let's see. With my cross eye dominance and poor right eye sight, I'm okay out to 30 yards without glasses, but it gets pretty tough shooting us out to 40 to 60. Any suggestions?
TJ shoots with glasses on.
It's shooting with glasses if you haven't done it, takes a little getting used to. I ended up having to move my peep a little bit to accommodate for that. You know, I also run a lens in my scope and a clarifier in my peep. So if you're not running, you may want to look into something like that. I mean, I ran Verifiers with my glasses too in one of my bows. If you go either Verifier or clarifier route, be sure that you take your glasses with you, because it will make a big difference on if you go that route. Let's see. Chris ask recommendations on a hunting 3D use bow for the best money.
Honestly, I always kind of throw out the Elite E35. They were great bows. Levi shot them. Morgan, you can find them now, you know, because they're getting to be 4 or 5 years old, but they still shoot good. I mean, you can find them for $250, $350, and it's a 35-inch bow, and you can mess with the draw stops, the limb stops, get a lot of let off, a little bit of let off, whatever you want. But for the price, I mean, I've seen them for $250. You can find some deals on that bow, and it's still a shooter, and you could kind of do either one with it.
Jeff says there's a video on YouTube of Chris B twisting cables up on a 75-pound V3 to 100 pounds and chronographing it at 380 feet per second.
Good Lord. He's lucky it didn't break a limb. I mean, usually, I'll tell you a story. This is 2001, 2002. Guy had a Matthews Q2, wanted 5 more pounds, and I told him the risk. You know, I was like, about the only thing we can do is twist on this cable. It's a solo cam bow. You know, it throws the cam out of rotation. It actually adds a little draw length, but he was got to do it. Okay, so I added 5 pounds, got it on the scale, pulled it back a few times. He went in there and shot it, and about the 5th shot, the limb cracked on it. And but he told me to do it beforehand, so he paid for a new limb. But they, which I mean, Chris B can, I'm sure, get as many limbs as he wants for free because he shoots for Matthews. But that's I have to watch the video because I mean I like Chris B. Don't get me wrong, but that's a risky thing to do, you know.
Well, I mean, I know that they got the where you can switch weight cams and where you can switch the mods out for the poundage and stuff, but you know, if it's rated for 80, let's say you're shooting an 80-pound bow. Now most bows are going to come in a little bit hot on the poundage. So
Yeah.
an 80-pounder might come in at 83 pounds, but I don't like trying. If it's a 70-pound bow, I don't want mine overset. 72, 70 couple pounds, I'm okay with. But you start getting around like at 75-pound mark and upper, kind of starts worrying me on them limbs. I know limbs have advanced. The technology has advanced since the old solo cam days. But still, just I guess being in it for so long and always kind of had that in the back of my head.
Well, it's just fiberglass, you know what I mean? You could snap it technically. We've seen a few snap.
Yeah. So far, that's it on the feed.
Okay. But yeah, we actually had a pretty good backlog of bows to restring. I think I've done 15 or so in this past week, plus all our strings and stuff. Luckily we're about to get caught up on our string orders, or close to caught up. I'm hoping tomorrow to get another chunk knocked out of these bows. But anyway, I'm hoping we'll get a few minutes. I'm hoping tomorrow to get something, either the Bowtech or the site, probably the Bowtech, filmed and get it out. And then Sunday, if you're local, we're going to Kiwi Bowman Sunday morning. Feel free to meet us there. Supposedly there's a bunch of people meeting us, so we may have to break up into a few groups and kind of hang together as a few groups. But so there'll be a video from that, I'm sure. Hopefully a Bowtech video. I got to get, if I can get caught kind of back up on the bows, which is weird for February to be backed up on bows, but if I can get caught up maybe in the next week or so, we'll start hammering out some videos again, because I know there's a bunch. We got some Victory Arrows in I'd like to look at on the video, Bowtech, sights, all kind of stuff.
Let's see. Bruce said, have you tried the Expedition X30 or X33, the mixed carbon bows?
I've shot the 30. I don't remember if we worked on it. I just remember it came in here one time. It didn't like blow me away, but it was, a decent feeling, halfway light bow, I didn't think nothing bad about it.
Devin said that Matthews put B up to do that.
Got you.
What's wait time on a string cable set for the V327?
We always tell people like 10 to 14 days. It could be a lot quicker than that, but just in case, some days like we may not get any orders, and other days we may get 3 or 4 dozen orders. So it blows my mind, because it happens without like me doing any kind of advertising online most of the time, and just all of a sudden it'll start pinging off. But 10 to 14 days is a good generic guesstimation on it.
Jeff, I think that's electric red, but it looks so much like flow orange.
Oh yeah.
That it's not even funny.
But yeah, we missed last night, so I figured we'd hop on for a minute tonight. Actually, I can't believe we've had about, at one point, almost 20 people on here. I'm surprised on a Friday night, but y'all, if you got any questions or anything, just post them in here. We'll get to them next week, and we'll get y'all. I know we'll have the Kiwi video. It may take me a day or two to get it together. Sunset orange, and then we'll have a couple more videos coming out as soon as we can get to them. But y'all let us know anything else you want us to talk about. I know like G5, we got some new squaring devices in from them. I've been talking to Devin about. That might be worth a video. We got all kind of releases in.
Yep.
A bunch of stuff, but what's up? But anyway, we'll let y'all get back to it on this Friday evening, or at least this evening for us right now.
Yep.
And I think we're about to lock her down and find some dinner. But thanks for tuning in. Let us know if we can help you in any way. And we'll see y'all next time.
See y'all.